So Paris has this like trailer type situation and this kind of like big open space area. She said it was a great first impression. Place was fine, clean. The only thing Lemon mentioned was there was no heat. It was in the colder times of the month, I believe, towards the end of the year, and she had no heat. But nothing that made Lemon say, I'm not doing this. When they talk, she finds out that Paris is on house arrest, y'all. Paris is on parole. He's on house arrest. Nothing violent, just something to do with drugs. Feel the situation out, and she seems to want to continue to spend more time. So they start spending more time together. And Lemon asks, when you meet people off of the app, hey, are you talking to anybody else? We wouldn't have an entanglement show if there weren't people talking and dating multiple people. Ask if he's talking to anyone else. Paris says, well, yeah, I've been talking to this person named Lola. Well, it turns out that Lemon knows Lola. Lemon doesn't just know Lola from somebody on the app. Lemon used to work with Lola. She has her own feelings about it, but Lemon keeps it together and just says, okay, plays it cool. Did you like her? Are you feeling her? Paris blows it off and just says, well, Lola was just kind of aggressive. Like she came here, we met, and, she just wanted to get to it. And he wasn't really like feeling that. So while she's doing this, Paris, remember, told you he's on parole. So he's working. He's trying to get himself back together. Well, Paris ends up losing his job, which kind of sends him in a little bit of a spiral. He panics and he gets another job, but he just gets one like just really quickly, and he doesn't like it because he said it's not worth it. So he ends up getting back into his old life, y'all. So he ends up running with his same friends that he kind of got in trouble with in the first place, and he really starts this downward spiral. So he's probably dealing some drugs. He starts drinking again and is just very erratic. And during this whole time, Lemon is still having still going over there, still just, playing it cool, but they're together. Their relationship has progressed now. Well, one day, like this is an example of how sporadic it is. One day he says, I want to get a tattoo. He said, I want to go get a tattoo on my face. In the comments, what are your thoughts on face tattoos? What are your thoughts on face tattoos? Face tattoos? No. So if you were dating a guy and he was like, hey, I want to get a face tattoo, what are we doing? We're telling him no. Well, he really wanted to get a face tattoo. Lemon was like, all right, we'll do what you want. Does anybody remember what he got tattooed on his face? Can anybody recall what he got tattooed on his face? Y'all, he got Fendi. He got Fendi tattooed on his face. Fendi, the brand, right on his face. Fendi on his face, okay? He's all gassed up about this tattoo, feeling good about it. Lemon said 2 hours later, this man is crying and bawling, talking about my life is ruined. I've got this Fendi tattoo on my face and going through it. So one day Lemon's coming over, all right? She's talking to him. I'm going to go to the store. She's going to go to the store, pick up some chicken and some mac and cheese. And she's leaving the store. She says, hey, I'm on my way. So Lemon gets back to his trailer. As she pulls up, I need y'all to visualize this, okay? We love a good visualization here, okay? Visualize the trailer. No curtains. So just a big window right there, all right? Lemon pulls up, headlights on, beaming into the trailer in this window. You can see into it. No curtains. And as she pulls up, she sees two people pop up. Two people, not one, because it should just be Paris. Two people pop up all of a sudden like this. Lemon says, what the hell is going on? Gathers her things, goes to the back door, opens the door. A man named Mark opens the door. As Mark opens the door and sees Lemon, Paris is in the back, jumping up, running to go hide in his room because he's now been drinking and drunk and embarrassed. Lemon and Mark exchange words. Mark says, you know what? I don't want to have anything to do with this. I thought everything was cool. Lemon's like, I'm not even worried about you. Mark leaves. She goes and she finds Paris drunk in his room, just out of control. She says, you know what? We're not doing this. She takes her chicken and mac and cheese and goes home. The next day she calls him, and Paris is having this crisis. Paris is saying he's unsure now about his sexuality, and because Lemon is like, well, what is it that you like? And she's like, I'm just going through it. But Lemon says, I'm still just going to play this position because she enjoyed being around him. It was fine otherwise. So Lemon, in her mind, says, well, if you're doing your thing, then I'm doing my thing, whatever. So one day she's out with Paris and in her car, and Paris finds a cigarette. Remember, Lemon is now doing her thing too. Lemon's like, all right, I'm just going to do our thing. You do yours. Instead of being honest, Lemon lies about the cigarette. So this brings up a little tension because now he's kind of constantly thinking, okay, what's going on? Well, his house arrest finally ends, y'all. So he gets off his house arrest. Now that he can leave and stay elsewhere, out to this place, he starts spending more time at Lemon's place, bringing things over to Lemon's space, leaving things there, like half moving in. How do you guys, ladies, guys, how do you feel about that? Like if you are dating somebody and they come over, you're not really ready to move in, but they start leaving stuff and they start doing this, like what do you guys, what do you do in those situations? Do you tell them, do you just play it off? Is that too much? Or have you done that? Have you done, ladies or guys, one in the comments if you've done that on purpose, left your toothbrush, left a little something, and then you just all of a sudden have accumulated enough things where you don't need to pack a bag. I know. Okay, well, one day he's there and he asks to borrow Lemon's car. Lemon's like, yeah, sure, whatever, just be right back. He borrows the car, y'all. 2 hours pass and Lemon is like, where is my car? Like you were just supposed to go get gas or go down to the store. 2 hours later, looking for the car. She's calling him and he hangs up. She's calling and calling, and all of a sudden, y'all, she gets a phone call, okay? She gets a phone call from his phone, but it's not him on the phone. It's Veronica. Who's Veronica? Veronica is now telling Lemon this sob story, Paris came to pick me up and he was supposed to just take me out to, go to this hotel. We're at this hotel now and he's just drunk and he can't take me anywhere and we're stuck. And she's giving this whole story. Lemon is like, drop the pin location. I'm going to Uber myself there. Tell me where you're at. So Lemon gets in the Uber and goes to the car. All right, y'all, visualize this. Veronica is essentially, Paris was trying to pimp her out, y'all. Paris was trying to be a makeshift pimp, met her at the friend's place, was trying to pimp her out. So Paris is in the front of Lemon's car in the passenger seat, drunk. Veronica, a little drugged out, in the back, sitting in the back, while Lemon gets in the car and is trying to have a rational conversation with Paris as he's just trying to explain himself and getting really belligerent with her. After all this exchange gets together, Lemon says, Veronica, where do you need to go? I'm dropping Veronica off. Gets Veronica. Veronica gives her a location. It's another hotel down the street. We don't know what happens to Veronica. Drops Veronica off the hotel. And now Lemon and Paris proceed to have an argument in the parking lot. Lemon and Paris are going back and forth. Lemon makes some kind of comment about, I need to go to him. I'm thirsty. Paris has a soda, throws this soda in Lemon's face. He gets out of the car because he's all over the place freaking out. Lemon pretends like she's going to run him over. She said. And kind of, ladies, ladies, be honest. Any of you ladies, have you ever been pushed that far and you just kind of like fake the drop? You ever almost just say, if I just leave my foot on this gas pedal 2 seconds longer, okay. So she fakes like she's going to run him over. After that, she just leaves him. She's, at this point, it's time to break up. They argue, they continue to argue for a couple more days or weeks after that, and it just kind of fades off, and she finally just drops him. Even after she dropped him and moved on, listen, he still popped up several times, just popped up unannounced to her house until he finally got a clue. But I believe after that whole incident, Lemon didn't deal with Paris anymore. We don't know what Paris is up to these days. But, Lemon, does he still have the Fendi tattoo on his face? So y'all, if y'all see somebody in Arizona with a Fendi tattoo on his face, it might could be might want to go up and just say, hey, Paris, how you doing? Oh, shit. Oh, shoot. See, look, I just cussed on my own show. All right, y'all. I'm ready for this next person, y'all. We had to make sure that we did Entanglements, the return right. We had to make sure we brought on a guest that y'all just love and a guest that has a fair amount of entanglements. She just has great entanglements. If you remember the first one, we had bricks. Can we get the brick emojis in the comments? Can we get brick emojis in the comments? If you remember the first time she was here, we were talking about bricks in the car, right? I mean, bricks in the car. What a great story. And then, y'all, can we get a yellow? Can we get a black and yellow anything? Can you put black and yellow anything? Can you put yellow? Actually, just yellow. Find me something yellow. I'm wearing yellow today, but find something yellow. Find something yellow. And then we went from bricks to yellow paint. To yellow paint, y'all. Yellow paint. Okay. So now I don't even know I don't know what's next. I don't know what's next. Do y'all wanna speculate? We've done bricks, we've done yellow paint. Do we have any other things? Anything else we might think of? I don't even know at this point. What is that, T-Dog? Okay. All right. Fire. Oh, okay. Now we're getting intense here. All right, y'all. Do me a favor and please spam the scissors in the comments. Please spam the scissors in the comments. We had naked fights. You're right. Scissors in the comments for tonight's first entanglement of the year. Yours and mine. Favorite top badge, Weddington. Back to entanglements.
Hello.
Did you like my intro for you?
I did. I love a good intro. Thank you.
Okay, big VIP. I see you,
bruh. It's so big.
Okay.
It's so big. Like,
y'all see it? All right. Okay. All right. So, I mean, you know the routine here. First of all, thank you for coming back and being our opening act of 2022. Y'all, just for those of you that are new here, I don't hear these stories ahead of time, so we are hearing this together, brand new. So I don't know what's in this, what's not in this. So we're gonna go on this journey together. You know, turn them comments off. I'm gonna turn them off and I'm gonna join you away from here because you know what they be acting. I'm turning these off. All right, Weddington.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do we begin? Or, well, you know who are the players in this entanglement?
We'll go. I need a guy name. Let's do.
You want to ask the audience?
Sure.
We need a guy name in the. We need a guy name, guys. We need a guy name.
Art, Steve.
What'd you like?
Marcus, Joey.
What's grabbing you?
Let's go with Chris.
Okay, Chris, got it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Stinky Feet, and we'll just call him that because his feet stink.
Oh, Stinky Feet is another yeah. Okay, all right.
We'll call him that.
Okay, that's a guy, obviously. She said he. All right, and anybody else?
The homegirl from the White Castle store.
Homegirl's making a return?
Yes.
Do y'all remember Homegirl? Y'all remember Homegirl? The picture? She back, y'all. She back. All right, Homegirl.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll call the girl Turtle because she smelled like a dirty turtle. Like a dirty turtle tank.
This is okay, turtle. Can we get the turtle emojis in the comments? Oh gosh, okay.
Like
I'm kind of upset that I picked green when you said that now too. So all right. All right. So is that everybody?
And also there is I think that's it for now.
Oh, for now. Okay. All right. All right, y'all got that. Okay. So everybody, here we go. We got Weddington. We got Chris. We have Stank Feet. That's a male. We have Homegirl, and we have Turtle. Turtle is a
girl.
Turtle is a girl. Okay, so 3 women and two men. Okay, everybody got it? Everybody thumbs up if you got it. Weddington, Chris, Stank Feet, Homegirl, Turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up if you got it. So make sure you got it at the start, because after this, y'all gonna have to keep up on your own until we recap. All right, got it. Okay. All right, I'm back. All right, so when does this start? When are we starting?
This was about 5 years ago. So
2017?
mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So if it started off, so I was dating what do we name him?
Chris or Stank Feet?
No, Chris. I would never date someone whose feet stink. Um, Chris. Let's call him Marcus, because something just makes me feel like I'm not gonna be able to keep up with the name Chris.
Okay,
Not gonna lie.
Marcus. All
Yeah,
right.
Marcus.
Marcus. Okay. And where did you guys like meet? How did this relationship begin, or where's it?
So I met him through my male best friend. He was his best friend and the local pharmaceutical man.
The plug.
Yes.
You were dating the plug.
Mhm.
Wow. All right. Okay. The plug. Was he your plug, or he just was a plug? Like,
I didn't pay for anything, so he was a plug.
okay, got it. All right. So dating the plug. All right. Got it. All right. How long have you, so when we start this, you guys have been dating for how long?
About 7 months.
7 months. Okay. Okay. All right. Dating for 7 months, 2017. Marcus is the plug. You met through your friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been dating, and he has moved. So his mom had a house in the hood, right? And she was going to sell the house. So the bank took the house, they moved out. He would still trap out of that house.
Okay. The bank took the house, or you said they were selling it?
No, I'm pretty sure the bank took it because they
Okay.
weren't supposed to be in there.
Got it. So the house was, what do you call that? Not repossessed.
Foreclosed.
Foreclosed. Yeah.
Yeah. So he would work out of that house.
Okay.
And when we would like hang out and stuff, like we would park the cars outside of the house. We would hang out in the cars, like just some real ghetto stuff, just
Okay.
hood rat stuff with your friends, basically.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So like everybody kind of knew us there, and because his family, some other members of his family lived across the street. So everybody knew him. Everybody knew that I was his girlfriend. And then there was a family that moved in next door, and it was Stinky Feet's family.
Stinky Feet's family. All right. But his family lived across the street. So
no, they lived across from him. So it wasn't across the street. It was on the same side of the street.
Yeah, so they just lived, he still had family in the area. They just didn't own the house anymore, right?
Yeah, his family lived across the street.
Okay, bye. And how long were you guys like just hanging out, and he's trapping out of this house before, when the Stank Feets move in?
Probably about 2 or 3 months, because we were coming like into the summer.
Okay. So 2 or 3 months in, new family moves in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Turtle, the girl that smells like a turtle, a dirty turtle tank, is actually Stinky Feet's sister. So it makes sense. His feet stink, she stinks. We should call them the Stinks. But anyway.
Okay. So Stank Feet's move in, Stank Feet's family that's move in, and it's Stank Feet and Turtle, brother, sister.
Yeah. So they're not really like friends or anything like that, like the people that are working out of the foreclosed house, or the people that have the new family that's moved in. Like they're not like super friendly. But Stink Feet actually starts to purchase medicine from Marcus. So that's how they start to build a rapport.
Okay. But when you say they're not friendly, you just mean like there's no issues?
No, there's no issues. They're just not, it's not even like a hi bye type of thing. It's just we exist on the same block type thing.
Everybody mind their business.
Exactly. Everybody mind their business. So they start to build a rapport at that point, because he's, getting the medicine from him. Marcus will go hang out at his house because, the house is foreclosed. So there's no,
right.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So
there's
nothing there. So he goes over to the Stinky's house to hang out with them. And, that's how they kind of become cool. Mm-hmm. So one day I'm there outside, and Marcus and Stinky Feet, we're gonna go to the mall. So his sister Turtle comes out, and she's like, "Oh, I want to go to the mall too." And Marcus is kind of irritated, like, "No, like, I don't really want her to go. Like, she's super annoying. I don't want to deal with her." Like, he says this to me. So I'm just like, "Well, we already told her she could go, so unless you're gonna tell her she can't, I guess she's gonna go." So at first I was sitting in the front of the car with my friend, and Marcus was sitting in the back with Sticky Feet because they were going to smoke. So then Turtle comes and gets into the car, and then Marcus decides he doesn't want to sit in the back anymore. He wants to trade seats, and he wants to come sit in the front with me. So they make the switch.
Okay, so in the front seat, it's 3 in the front and two in the back.
No. So at first it was me and my friend, and then it was Stinky Feet and Marcus. They were in the back. But when she came and got in the car, he asked my friend if they could switch. Okay. So he came and set up by me, and my friend went to sit in the back with Stinky Feet and his sister.
Okay, so hang on. So if y'all are just tuning in, welcome to Entanglements with me. It's Itsjillybaby. If you just got here, no problem. We just started Weddy's entanglement. Right now, 2017, and Weddy is dating Marcus. Marcus is the plug for the medicine. They've been dating for about 7 months. Marcus, we're at a point now where Marcus' mom's house got foreclosed on, but he still used the house to trap out of the house. So they would hang out here what it says, participate in their, hood activities. Marcus' family, his other family lived nearby the house, so they knew what was going on, and you had family in the area. Well, about 2-3 months into trapping out of this house, a new family moves in next door. And in comes Stinky Feet, who's a male, and Turtle. They're brother and sister, Stinky Feet and Turtle. Their family moves in next door. There's no real beef as the families move in. Everybody just minds their business. But Stank Feet starts to use Marcus to purchase his medicine from. So it's from this point that they start this rapport. Marcus now starts hanging out over at Stanky Feet's house because remember, he's trapping out of the house, y'all. So that means there's nothing in the house. So he's going over, hanging out with Stank Feet and his family. Well, one day they're all hanging out, decide to go to the mall. Turtle, sister, comes out, says, "Hey, I want to go too." Marcus pulls Weddy aside and says, "Hey, I really don't want her to come. She's like mad annoying." When he says, "Well, unless you're going to tell her, we already told her yes, so you're going to have to deal with it." This is where we're at right now. Sitting in the car, and in the back seat was Marcus was in the back seat with Stank Feet because they were going to smoke. Weddy is in the front with her friend. When Turtle comes up to the car to get in and get in the back seat, Marcus wants no parts of it, trades places with Weddy's friend, so the friend goes in the back. So it's Turtle, brother Stank Feet, Weddy's friend, and now Marcus and Weddy are in the front seat. Who's driving? Is there somebody else?
I'm driving.
You're going to drive. Okay, so you're the driver. I'm trying to visualize everyone. Okay, so he wants to sit up front, not smoke in the back. All right. Where are we going from here?
So we get to the mall. So we're like walking through the mall. So I say that I want to go to basically, I think it was Bath and Body Works. And so my friend, of course, she wants to come with me. And then Turtle says, "Oh, I want to come with you too." So Marcus instantly was like, "Well, I think you should come with me because I want to show you something. I was trying to get you something." And I was like, "Well, you know what size I wear, so if you want to get me something, you can just get it." And he was like, "Well, no, I want to go ahead."
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Say what you're saying.
He was like, "No, I want to show it to you. So can you just come with me?" And I'm like, I guess so. So we all end up going to the store together. Okay. Instead of the women going to one store and him and Stinky Feet going to the other store.
The other store. Got you. Okay.
So we're in the store and me and him are like,
hold on. In the comments, what does this sound like right now, y'all? What does this sound like right now? What are you thinking about Marcus right now? That sounds like a good time. Bless me. Are you paying attention to the story? Not even paying attention. Trouble. Okay. You think she about to get a ring? Put a 1 in the comments if y'all think she about to get a ring based on this story. A lot of zeros. 1, a 1.2, a 0. Okay, so you're in the mall walking around. You say you want to go somewhere. Turtle with your friends. Turtle says, "Ooh, me too." And as soon as Marcus hears "Ooh, me too" from Turtle, Marcus says, No, wait. I want to show you something. You
Mm-hmm.
should come with me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, why? You try to play it off like, what's the point? I don't know what you need. But you know what? Then we'll just all go. Okay, so you all go. Do you know what store you're going to? Is that relevant at all in this or not
I
really?
mean, no, it's not really relevant. We were going to Nordstrom, but it's not relevant. So we're in the store, like me and him are walking together, and she's just like walking behind us, like with this weird look on her face, and I'm just like, okay. And so we stop, and he's looking at stuff for himself, and I'm talking to my friend, and he's still just kind of like looking at stuff for himself. And I was just like, well, I think we're just gonna go to the other store because it's like you're not even trying. You said you wanted to show me something, you were trying to get me something, but we're only looking at stuff for you, so we're just gonna go. And so remember I said when me and him were walking, she was like in pretty close proximity, just kind of like looking at us weird. So when I said we were gonna go to Bath and Body Works, she was like, oh, Bath and Body Works, oh, I still want to go too, so I'm gonna come with you. So he was like, oh, well, wait, let me just show you what I wanted to show you. And he just picks up two random shirts, like one in his size and like a smaller one in my size. Like, we should just get these. And I'm like, wait, what? This is what you wanted me to come here for?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you're really starting to get on my nerves. I'm just going to go to the other store. And he was like, well, just let me grab my stuff. So I'm talking to my friend, and I see Turtle talking to Marcus. So I'm kind of like, what is going on? Like, why are they talking to each other? And she got like a pair of shoes in her hand, and she's like, well, remember you said that you owe me, so you were gonna buy me something. So I was just like,
Oh, that's what you overhear?
yeah. So I'm just looking, and he makes eye contact with me, and he says, so everybody, I'm just gonna buy everybody something. So everybody just grab one thing and let's just head out to the other store.
Wait, this is a community? Like, how much? Have you ever done anything like this before?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. So of course my friend goes and grabs something, because she like, you don't got to tell me twice, and she runs off and grabs something. So Stinky Feet grabs something. The girl grabs the shoes. I'm just like, this is really weird. Like, this is really weird. So he gets the stuff. We go to the store I wanted to go to, and then we were gonna eat. So he pulls me aside. He was like, well, if you and your friend want to go eat later, we can do that. But I really just don't want to eat with her. Like, she's super annoying, and I just don't want to be around her. Like, so can we just drop them off? So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. So we get in the car, we drop everybody off. Me and him and my friend go and get something to eat. He asked me to drop him back off at the trap house. And I was like, well, why are you going back there? Because he would usually stay at my house.
Right.
And he was like, I just got a few things to do. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, well, I'll be over when I'm done. So I sent him a text message like a couple hours.
So let me get this straight. You dropped off Stank Feet and Turtle, and then y'all left, and he said, can you take me back?
So no. So when I dropped them off, they went in the house, and we were at the trap house, and we were sitting outside smoking. And then after like a little bit of time, I was gonna pull off so we could go to my house. And he was like, well, I'm just gonna stay here.
Okay.
Because I have a few more things that I need to do, and then I'll just come over. He was just gonna come to my house.
Okay. And this is odd behavior to you too now. So we've got 2 points of odd behavior. He's well, 3, right? So in the car, or in the car being weird about her being around, in the mall when you're going to like walk off and she wants to go, and it's like he doesn't want you to be alone. And then in the Nordstrom about a conversation off to the side, and then now about eating and not wanting to be around her. She's seeing me all of the time. And this whole time, are you in this moment, are you picking up on this? Are you just taking mental note about this stuff? Or are you just kind of
I'm picking up on it. I'm taking mental note of it. But I think as we get to the store, further to the store, the end of the story, you'll understand.
Okay.
Why I'm just like taking mental note of it. Like, it's cool. But I really do see what's going on right here, but I want to see how it's gonna play out. Okay. So he calls me and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm just gonna go to bed.
At the trap house?
Exactly. So I'm like, wait, what? I'm sorry, no, he didn't call me, because I was calling him and he didn't answer. So he sent me a text message and he was like, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm just gonna go to sleep. Good night. And I'm just like,
hang on. in the comments, what do you feel when you are calling somebody and calling and then they text you back? And they text you back. How is that what do you do in response to that? Do you keep calling? Is that the most, is that the suspect, red flag? Okay.
Tonight, we are going to witness
So
the most
calling,
anticipated match
no answer, and he texts you
in the history
okay, and he texts you back.
of
Now, how long
professional
had it
wrestling.
been? Like, how much time has passed from the time you left and he said, I'll be over? This is like late now. It's been
like 2.5, almost 3 hours, and it was already like 11 o'clock when I left.
I said, I'll come over later. So you were calling and he texts you back and he says, I'm just going to stay here and I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Okay. Had he ever, does he ever stay at the trap house?
I mean, he would stay like late to the trap house, but still come over. So it was never like, oh, I'm just going to sleep here. I'm going to stay here. I'll talk to you tomorrow. What are you, because like, honestly, they didn't have cable, right? So they didn't have anything. Like the only thing they had there was a washer and dryer, a stove that they used to heat the house, and a TV that they would connect Bluetooth to their phone to listen to YouTube and stuff like that. So you have nothing there. Like, what you sleeping on, sir? Like, you sleeping on milk crates? Like, what are we doing? Like, you sleeping in one of the cars in the garage that don't run? Like, what's really happening right now? Like,
all right. So you get this message.
So I see that he's active on Facebook. Like, you're awake on Facebook. You're actively liking and interacting with things on Facebook, but then you're texting me good night.
Y'all, that green bubble that says online.
Like, you're not gonna do me like the post says. I don't care if Facebook says I'm online or not. If I said I'm asleep. Don't.
So he's active. So he sent you this good night text, but he's active on Facebook. Green bubble lit up, liking, doing all of these things. Okay. So what do we do now?
So I don't like really know what's going on, except the fact that he's not answering my phone calls. So I think, well, if he's not going to answer my phone calls, he's not going to answer anybody's phone calls. So I just start calling him back to back private from my house phone and my cell phone, just to make sure that he wasn't talking to anybody else. But then I just did.
How many calls do you think that you've placed between the two?
Probably like 100. Nothing like major. Okay.
In the comments, have you ever received this many calls or been the person doing the calling? Be honest. We are honest here. You don't need to tell me which one. Just whether you're the receiver of the calls or the call maker. All right. So about 100. Okay. Did it make you feel better?
Yeah, because I knew at least if he wasn't talking to me, if his ass wasn't asleep, he wasn't talking to nobody else or using that phone. So yeah, I felt satisfied.
So
like
you were tying up the lines. You were making it impossible.
And I do it again.
Okay.
Okay. So then he calls me the next morning, like, what are you doing? Like, let's go get some breakfast. I'm about to pick you up. I'm like, oh, you're about to pick me up? Like, he's like, yeah. So he ends up getting pulled over.
Hold on. So he just plays this off. The next, just up like nothing, doesn't acknowledge.
No. We didn't even get that far in the conversation, because he says, "What are you awake? What are you doing? I'm about to come pick you up. I want to take you to breakfast." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He gets pulled over. So we never even I don't know what he was going to try to say in the conversation, because he gets pulled over. He ends up going to jail because he has medicine in the car. The car gets towed.
Okay.
So his mom calls me like, Marcus got arrested. We need to bail him out. We're $200 short. Can you help out? And of course, I'm not going to say no. So I said yes. And then I'm thinking, do I really want to contribute $200 to this? No, I really don't. So I was wondering, I'm thinking, how can I get the money? Because I don't really want this money to come out of my pocket. Yes, I have it, but do you deserve it? Absolutely not. Okay. So it just happens that at that day, my sugar daddy called me that day and asked me if I wanted to go to an event with him.
Pause. So this whole time we also have a sugar daddy.
I've always had a sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy. Okay. All right. Sugar daddy. All right.
Yeah.
This show's only an hour, so I can't dive into that one real quick. We'll come back another time possibly. So sugar daddy. Does Marcus know about said sugar daddy? Is this an open thing or is this got you? Okay.
Like my business is like my business. And
How long have you had sugar daddy?
at this point, like a few years.
Oh, okay. All right. Got you. All right. So you don't want this money you don't want it to be your money. So you automatically think hit up the sugar daddy.
No, I didn't think that. He happened to invite me to an event. And so I hit him back with like, I'm just going through a lot right now. Now, rarely when like somebody says I'm going through a lot right now, are they actually going through a lot right now? It's probably because they're about to ask you for money. But he says, so what's going on? And I was like, well, I really didn't want to tell you this, but I'm going to go to jail tomorrow. I have to pay my PO $500 because I dropped dirty on a test, and I'm gonna go to jail if I don't pay the fine, and it's $500 and I have to pay it by tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So
did he know you have a PO? Like, has there been any, or you just threw out the PO thing?
I've never been arrested for real.
I know that, but what I'm saying is like, did he think that you have a PO? Like this is all of a sudden, that's a lot to happen to get a PO, whatever. All right. So sugar daddy calls about an event. You use this opportunity to to get this money that you need. If y'all are just joining Entanglements, this is Entanglements with me. It's Itsjillybaby of Weddington in the Box. We are getting through her entanglement. At this point in time, Weddy's boyfriend has been arrested and is in jail. Marcus' family has called and said, hey, we are $200 short. Can you help us? She's not going to say no. So outwardly, she says yes. Inwardly, she's like, heck no. And I'm going to find a way to get this, but it's not going to be my money. Weddington has a sugar daddy that she's had for years. By the grace of God and the blessings of the universe, sugar daddy pops up around this time to invite her to an event. She uses this time to just say, I might not be able to come to this. I'm not really feeling, I'm just going through a lot right now, which then precedes the question of, well, what's going on? Weddington then proceeds to tell him that, she needs money because she's about to go to jail. She, came up dirty on a P test. And if her PO finds out, it's going to be all types of problems. She needs to pay this fine to get it taken care of. I need $500. Do y'all remember how much money she actually needed for Marcus? Do we remember how much money was needed for Marcus? $200. $300 come up for pain and suffering. Okay. So
it's like, I don't feel like I should have to give you this money at all. But then I also can't be like, when you get bailed out, like, oh, can I get my $200 back? So look, if I get $500 from the sugar daddy, then he can get $200 and then I keep $300. So the math was just mathing for me, and that's just that. And I'm not sorry.
Okay. All right. So you say I need $500. Mm-hmm. Sugar daddy?
He says, if you come to the event, I will give you the $500. So I'm like, okay, cool. I get dressed, get my hair done. I go to the event, and it's like an open bar. So he's drinking a lot and he's starting to get intoxicated. He hasn't said anything about giving me my $500 or anything like that. He's just getting more and more drunk.
Okay.
So I don't want to be like, oh, I need this $500 for my bail hearing, because that's going to be embarrassing, not for me because it's not true and I don't care, but for you, I'm sure in front of your colleagues it would be embarrassing. So I pull him aside. I'm like, I think I'm going to go. I'm not enjoying myself. He's like, what do you mean you're not enjoying yourself? And I was like, yeah, I'm just really distracted. Like, I got to get this $500. Yeah, I'm just going to go because, I just can't really enjoy myself. So, I'll go into detail about that after this in my show. But long story short, after going to the bank and them calling fraud on the check that he wrote, I get the $500. I give his mom.
Wait. So when you zoom past that. All right. You tell him I need this money. Tell sugar daddy I'm leaving. I need this money. What does he do? He gives you a check?
Yeah.
Okay.
But because he was so drunk, like, there was a lot going on with the signature on the check. So when I took it to the bank, they were just kind of like, fraud. And then he came, it was like a whole thing.
Okay. But he came and rectified it. You got your money.
I got the money.
Okay.
And so I give the mom the $200. She goes and bails him out.
Okay.
I wasn't there when he got bailed out because I was at work.
Okay.
So when I got off of work, it was midnight and I was just tired. So I talked to him on the phone. I'm like, I'll come see you when I wake up in the morning. Like I'll come see you when I wake up in the morning, because I'm not staying at the trap house. So so what? Yeah. So the next morning I woke up. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. So I'm calling him and he's not answering the phone. I'm kind of like getting irritated, because it's like, when you're at the trap house, there's no reason for you not to be awake, because why are you at the trap house if you're not trapping? And how are you trapping if you're not answering the phone? Make it make sense. Okay. So I was like getting irritated. So I'm on the phone. And I'm talking to my friend, and she was like, you should just go over there. And I was like, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I smoked, I got dressed, and by that time, I come over there, and it's a car parked outside. And I don't know like whose car it is. Actually, I'm gonna have to give those details at another time. Don't worry about that.
Okay, hold on 1 second. In the comments, ladies, you don't need to say which one you were. How many of you have been in that situation, whether you're the person that did the pull up or the person that got pulled up on because you weren't answering these messages? How many of you in here have done you to pull up? Okay, oh, y'all just gonna tell on yourself that. All right, you to pull up, I'm gonna pull. Okay, all right, just like the song, pull up on me. Okay, so it sounded though like, did your friend talk you into doing it, like, or were you just, because from the stories I know, I feel like your friend wouldn't have needed to suggest that.
No, this is like a time when I was trying to keep my composure and things. And also because I'm about to tell you why I wasn't as invested in it. Like, give me 2 to 3 sentences and it's gonna make sense.
Okay, and is your friend, this isn't homegirl. Is friend your homegirl? Or just
give me a moment.
Got it. Okay. So for your friend, you're on the phone, 5 a.m. You're calling him, you wake up, he's not answering. Why aren't you answering? You're at the trap house. Like, you should be able to answer your phone, not answering. You're talking to your friend says, you know what, you should just go over.
Yes.
Okay. So you smoke, you get yourself together.
Yes. And I take a couple shots, I go over there. So I see.
Was it Remy?
No, I never told you I drank.
One time you did
that one time, but that was like because it was New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So I go over there, I come in the house, I open the door. Remember I told you there was a washer and a dryer that was there. So I look, I'm like, whose clothes are these? Like, this is like a laundry basket of like baby's clothes, and like, whose clothes are these? So I come in and I immediately start going off, because why are you not answering the phone? And whose clothes are these? Like, whose clothes are these? And so I see her peek out like from upstairs, and not her, because y'all don't know. I see Turtle peek out from upstairs, and I'm like, what is she doing here? Because I'm arguing with him because I'm trying to figure out whose clothes are these. Right. So she peeks out. He's like, and he tries to say, oh, she was just here washing her clothes. She wanted to wash her son's clothes. So I'm like, but why is she upstairs? Because she lives right next door. Right. So she could have washed her clothes and went back to her house while she was waiting for them to clean. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So she starts talking real tough, because he's standing like, because she's up the stairs and I'm standing here, he's standing between us, so like I can't like run up the stairs. So she just starts talking real tough, like, yeah, like, you're dumb, like, I've been sleeping with your man this whole time, like, ever since before we went to the mall, ever since before he got arrested, and all of this stuff. And I was just like, wait, what? And so I didn't really have time to process it. And he starts pushing me outside of the door, because the staircase was right by the entrance to the house. So he starts pushing me outside the door. So I call homegirl, and I was like, oh, I'm about to beat this girl. Like, that's what's about to happen. I'm about to beat this girl. So she was like, no, I'm dropping my daughter off at school. Like, I will come over there. Like, don't do anything till I get there. Like, just don't do anything. And so I'm like, I can't promise that. Like, I'll try, but I can't promise that. So I kicked in the door, I go in, and I'm trying to get upstairs. Like, I get upstairs, his his cousin and then her brother Stinky Feet was like trying to get me from getting to the room door that she was in, and she was still just talking. So she said something that I just found very disrespectful, and then at that point, like, I just turned all the way up. Like, I just started seeing red, and like I was really trying to like knock these grown men down to like get to her.
So let me see. So you are outside, you make this phone call to homegirl. You are like, no, I can't do it. You kick the door in and you
like, yes, like I hung the phone up, put it in my pocket, and like rushed and kicked the door in.
Okay, kick the door in and you head up the stairs.
Yes, because they weren't standing like in the staircase anymore because they thought I was just outside on the phone. So when I kicked the door in, I had the opportunity to run right up the
stairs. So you make it up the stairs. She's in a room.
She was like, so when you go up the stairs, like it's like a large open space, and then there are rooms.
Gotcha.
So when she saw me running up the stairs, she ran into one of the rooms and closed the door.
That's what I'm saying. She ran into the room, closed the door. Stanky Feet, Marcus, and another friend run up to now grab you, and she's behind the door talking reckless. Okay, behind the door.
Behind the door.
I got you. Okay, and then you have these grown men in between you and the door.
And I was just gonna kick that door in too.
Right, of course, naturally.
Yeah.
All right, so you kick in the door. She's behind. She's talking loud now in a room.
And because I'm just like, fight me, because you're talking crazy. You're saying all this stuff like, just fight me. Why don't you just fight me? And so I'm like, well, you don't want to fight me? I'm gonna make you fight me. So remember, I told you that he told me that those were her and her son's clothes, and there was a baby's coat sitting there at the top. And then you remember I told you all they had was a washer and a dryer, and then they had the stove that they were using to heat the home. So there was an open flame on the top of the stove. So I went and took the baby's coat and threw the baby's coat on top of the open flame. It like went up, and then like the kitchen like went up in flames. So then I walk out the door, because now it doesn't matter anymore, because I wanted to fight you. I said, I'm gonna make you fight me. Now I don't care no more, because I feel like I got my lick back. So
okay, so
I turned around and walked out the door.
Okay, this is giving me very much waiting to exhale, walking away from
very much so.
It's giving me that type of vibe. So she won't come out. They're trying to stop you, and you say, well, I'm gonna make you come out and fight me. And your thought is to go downstairs, grab the coat, the baby coat that was sitting there, go to the kitchen and throw the coat on the open flame, and then just leave. And this now has become a massive fire. Okay.
No, not massive. They were able to put it out.
Okay, got you. So,
so I went outside, and by this time, homegirl pulls up. Now, if you don't really know me, I'm the type of person, like, if you won't let me fight you when I want to fight you, and I have to do something I feel to make myself feel better about the situation, by the time I'm done doing that, I don't have any more need to fight you, because I've done what I needed to do for me to be absolved of the situation. I don't care anymore. So yeah. So I didn't want to fight no more. So of course, now that I've set the house that they're not supposed to be in the first place on fire, and I have burned this baby's coat, and she's a bum, so she probably can't afford to get another one, and she smells like a dirty turtle tank, she is upset, and now she wants to come downstairs out the house, and now she wants to fight. So I'm sitting in my car, and I lock my door, because I'm like, girl, I don't care no more. Like, I don't want to fight. Like, I'm good. So homegirl pulls up, and she's standing at my car, like, so between my window, because the girl tried to like punch me through the car, like the car window, and that's how the window ended up getting rolled up, because she tried to like put her hand inside my car and like punch me or whatever. So I roll up the window. Homegirl was like, well, she don't want to fight you no more, so what you want to do? And she was like, I still want to fight. So homegirl beat her up, because she was like, she doesn't want to fight anymore, so what do you want to do? She's like, I still want to fight. So she just swung on her, and they get to fighting, and she got beat up, because you were asked. I wanted to fight you. I gave you ample opportunity to fight me. You didn't want to fight. So once I cause my scene and I get my lick back, now I don't want to fight no more, but you still want to fight, so you got beat up. So
so homegirl said, I still want to fight.
No, the girl.
The
So
girl said, I still want to fight. And your homegirl was like, okay.
well,
fine.
she don't want to fight no more. So what you want to do? I still want to fight. So homegirl was like, okay, let's fight. And
Okay. Got it.
because it's like, well, you still want to fight and I don't. So now what? Now you just going to get beat up.
Okay. All right. Homegirl. All right. Y'all put the first name if you got a homegirl like that. Just put their first name. We ain't really gonna know. Put the first name. If you who
now
is
before y'all do that, now if y'all remember, homegirl is the person that I was doing it with, that I went to White Castle with. So don't put my name in these comments.
who is of your ride or die person that will pull up like that? And if somebody wants to fight and they say they still want to fight and you don't, they're like, all right, cool. Well, we can square up. All right, go out like I like this. All right, y'all got somebody. Okay. All right. So Turtle gets beat up.
Mm-hmm. So the people in the neighborhood are gonna call the police. So me and homegirl get in her car and we leave.
They put the fire out. The fire department doesn't need to come. They
put the fire out.
Okay, good.
Or they were still in there fighting the fire. I don't know, because somebody was like, we called the police. So me and homegirl got in her car and left.
Okay, you left your car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay. All right.
So she ends up calling me my phone, so she must have gotten my number from Marcus, because obviously at this point you guys figured it out. Surprise, they were doing it. So I guess she must have got his number from me. I don't know, because he had been like trying to call me and I just wasn't answering the phone. Right. So then she starts like trying to like antagonizing me to like get me to fight her again. Okay. And she said something disrespectful, like she said something about my brother, and then I kind of knew that Marcus had to have been pillow talking, because how else would you, like, you just moved here, you know what I mean? Like, you just moved here, there would be no reason that you would know about that. So then I got mad because I was upset that he was pillow talking my personal business with her, and I assumed that they were probably laid up in the little bando trap house still. So we went through, me and my cousins, because at this time these are grown men, so I don't really know. I don't really know.
How much time has passed now from the fire and the fight to, like, how long is this afterwards, like the harassment and then
well, he had been trying to like contact me to get me to talk to him for like a week, and then I wouldn't, and then like she started hitting me up like a couple of days after that, so like maybe a week and a half. Okay. Yeah. So then I was kind of like getting mad, and then if you kind of didn't figure out, like I had never really been mad prior to this, because I was still sleeping with my homegirl the whole time, so I wasn't really invested in this relationship, because there was no reason for me to, like.
And homegirl knew about him. Yeah, he just didn't know about homegirl.
No, he knew about her, he just didn't know, like, we never actually had a conversation for him to be like, well, do you actually care about her, you want to be, so I don't know what he thought.
Got you. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think he just thought my girl has a girlfriend. I don't know what he thought.
All right, my girl has a girlfriend. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. So me and my cousins went and bust all the windows out of the family that lived across the street, the trap house, and Stinky Feet's and Turtle's house, like all the windows, like just bust all the windows. I'm not gonna say how, but they were all
his family house too. Everybody
that stayed across the street. Remember, that's how I said everybody knew who. Yeah, because it's kind of like, when you're going to attack somebody, you have to attack their allies too, especially if they're in close proximity. So everybody needs to be hit with the same level of shock at the same time, so that they don't have the opportunity to rally together to figure out what to do next.
Okay. Yeah. Did y'all use bricks?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
featured show.
You set up this situation afterwards, being harassed, you're over it, leave me alone. They don't. You gather your cousins, and all we know is the end result is the trap house, Stank Feet and Turtle's house, and the family's house, all the windows get bust out. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. What happens after this? How does this conclude?
So Marcus actually ends up coming outside, because he sees me standing in the yard doing whatever it is that I'm doing. And so he comes out, he tries to start an argument with me, and my cousin just kind of comes up, and him and my cousin end up getting into a physical altercation. My cousin ends up like punching him up. While he's doing that, I went and flattened the tires to all the cars that were parked in the back of the houses. And then we left. And then the next day, Marcus was like trying to call me to like try to work it out, to see if we could like get back together.
Wait. In the comments, okay, help me y'all. Your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever at the moment, rolls up with her family, busts your neighbor's windows, your family's windows. Also, her cousin beats you up. Are you the next day then calling, trying to figure out how y'all can get back together? Tell me if this is... Okay, all right. So Marcus is calling to say, baby, come back. Like, how can we, okay, all right. Okay, all right, okay. Now, what happens?
So I tell him no. He ends up coming to my house to bring me some medicine to try to like see if that will like move me to actually want to have any type of conversation with him. So I take the food he brings me, and I still like don't have any type of conversation with him. We end up like going our separate ways. And then because remember I said that I met him through his best friend, who was also my friend.
Right.
So he's having a baby, and we end up going to his baby shower.
How long ago? How long from that moment?
6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so I find out he tries to like start talking to me again, and in the process of him trying to start talking to me again, I find out that Turtle is actually 4 months pregnant with his baby.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there's that.
And Turtle is pregnant. Wow. All right, and then what? When you find out, never saw each other again?
Well, he's the plug, so like I had him robbed. I guess we could go into that on my show as well, because I guess this is a featured show.
You had him robbed. Okay.
Yep, I had my cousins rob him. I set him up.
Many layers. Many layers. I thought once you got your lick back and it was done that you felt better. So you still was upset?
Yeah, because you gave her ammunition to be able to speak on my brother. And at that point, I just feel like it's the same situation as my ex whenever I'm just in a bad mood or I feel a certain way, I just would bust her windows with a brick.
Okay.
It was just kind of like, if I think about it and something needs to happen to you because I thought about it, then something needs to happen to you because I thought about it. Like, you should have made better choices. I'm not to blame for your mistakes.
Got it. Okay. Well, y'all put a 1 in the comments if y'all are ready for the recap. We can ask questions after. Y'all can hit the box if you have questions. Y'all can hit the box right now and sit in there if you have questions. If y'all are pulling up right now to Entanglements, shame on you for not being here at the beginning, but you're just...
I am not ready.
Today's story. All right, so y'all, we have Weddington, we have Marcus, we have Stank Feet, we have Homegirl, and we have Turtle. Stank Feet and Turtle are brother and sister. This is back in 2017, y'all. Weddington was dating Marcus. Marcus is the plug. She met Marcus through a mutual friend, and at this point, they've been dating for about 7 months. So at one point, Marcus' mom's home gets foreclosed on. So obviously not livable, not supposed to be there, but he still uses the house to trap out of, all right? So they hang out there, they do their hood activities there. Everybody kind of knows what's going on, but they leave it alone. Next to the trap house is Marcus's family's house. And then there's an empty house that's next on the other side of it. Well, about 2-3 months in to hanging out at this house, Stank Feet and Turtle's family move into the home. When they first move in, there's no beef, there's no like fun activity, they're just kind of there. But Stank Feet starts to purchase his meds from Marcus, which now leads to this rapport that they have. They start hanging out more. Marcus starts hanging out at Stank Feet's house with Snake Feet and Turtle and the family and whatnot. Well, one day they decide they all want to go to the mall. They're hanging at the trap house. Hey, let's go to the mall. Turtle says, hey, I want to go. Turtle's a female. Turtle says, hey, I want to go. They say yes. When Marcus hears that Turtle wants to go, pulls Weddy aside and says, does she have to go? She's like mad annoying. I really don't want her to come. Weddy says, well, we already told her yes. So if you don't want her to come, you're going to have to go tell her yourself. He doesn't say anything. They get in the car to go. Weddy's driving. In the front seat, it's Weddy. It's Weddy's friend. And in the back seat, it's Marcus and Snake Feet. Turtle comes up to the car. Hey, guys, I'm ready to go to the mall to get in. Get in the back seat. Marcus says, no, I don't want to do that. Asks Weddy's friend to trade places so he can sit up front. And Turtle, Snake Feet in the front or in the back. So they head there to the mall. They start walking around the mall. Weddy and the friend say, hey, I want to go to like Bath and Body Works. We're going to do this. And Turtle says, oh, me too. I want to go. When Marcus hears this, Marcus says, oh, no. I wanted to show you something. You should come with me to this store. And Weddy's like, for what? Like, we don't usually do that. He's like, can you just come with me? So they all end up going to Nordstrom together. So they head over to Nordstrom, and Weddy's like, what are you doing? He said he wanted to show me something. It's just, this is a waste of time. I'm going to go to Bath and Body Works. Like, that's not what I need. Pulls up some shirts and says, no, just wait right here. Wait right here. I'm going to go get something. As he walks off, Weddy and her friend are standing there, and they see Marcus. She sees Marcus and Turtle talking, having a conversation. And what she picks up from the conversation is she hears something like, you owe me. You said you were going to get this. You owe me. Doesn't really say anything. Then Marcus just makes an announcement. All right, everybody get something. You get something. You get something. You get something. So she gets everybody. So Marcus buys it. Got to tell me twice. People go grab their things. He buys everybody their things. And now it's time to go. It's like, we're hungry. We're going to get something to eat. And Marcus, again, is just adamant about, I don't want to be around her. He tells Wednesday, can we just drop them off? And then you guys can go get something to eat, or we can go get something else to eat. She says, fine. So she goes. Remember, the houses are next to each other. So they go, drop them off. They're sitting at the trap house, just kind of hanging. Says, we're going to head back to my house, get something to eat. Marcus says, you know what? I'm going to stay here. Y'all go get something to eat. I'll come over later. Now, this is weird to Weddington because it's like, remember, it's a trap house. The things that are in the trap house are as follows: a stove that heats the house, a washer and a dryer, a television. That's it. Some cars in the garage that don't go anywhere. That's it. So she's like, stay here. What do you mean? But she leaves. She goes. A couple hours pass. She's calling like, hey, where you at? Calling. Doesn't answer the phone, y'all, but he texts back. Doesn't answer the phone, but texts back. He texts back pretty much saying, I'm going to stay here for the night. Good night. I will talk to you later. Weddington didn't like that. But she also noticed that after getting this text message, on Facebook, how you have the chat, and the little chat when you're active on Facebook is nice, big, bright, and green and says active. Well, Weddington sees that he is active on Facebook, liking posts, green bubble still lit up like go. And this is not sitting well with her. And if y'all have heard previous stories of Weddington, she does not like to be ignored or possibly being lied to. So she does what any rational person would do. And, she just calls his phone hundreds of times. She used her cell phone and her house phone. And in her mind, the rationale was, if I'm calling his phone this many times, then he can't be using his phone to talk to anybody else. So he's not going to talk to me, then he's not going to talk to anybody else. And she just called and called and called and called. Well, the next day, he calls her, says, hey, I'm coming over to get you. I'm going to take you to breakfast. And before they can get into what was happening, he gets pulled over. He gets pulled over in his car. He's got medicine in the car. Y'all remember he had a plug. He got medicine in the car. So he gets arrested and he gets sent to jail. He goes to jail. Car gets repoed. And the family reaches out to Weddy and says, hey, we need to bail him out. His girlfriend, we're about $200 short. Weddy says, I'm not going to say no, but I really want to say no because these are your poor decisions. Also, you've been acting weird and didn't answer my calls. But Weddy says yes. And by the grace of the universe, because, the universe is always working in our favor, she gets a call from her sugar daddy. Spoiler alert, she has a sugar daddy. This is insert sugar daddy. She's had this one for years. I don't have any details. Don't ask me any questions. We haven't gone down that road yet. She has a sugar daddy. Sugar daddy calls and says, hey, I have this event I need you to come to. Perfect timing. She says, I would love to, but I just got a lot on my mind right now. I'm just going through a lot. Sprinkle a little nugget. Well, what's going on? What's going on? What's wrong? Weddy puts together this story in the comments. Do you remember this? She said she's gonna go to jail. She came up back hot on a P test, and her PO is gonna be in trouble. And she's got to pay this money. How much? Remember, y'all, how much money did the family ask for? How much money did the family ask for, y'all? The family was how much short? $200, y'all. When Weddy talked to the sugar daddy, how much money did she tell the sugar daddy she needed to get out of this jail situation? $500, okay? $500 is what she needed, all right?
I need it.
So sugar daddy says, if you come to my event, I'll give you the $500. Weddy didn't flinch, no problem. Got my hair done. I got everything ready. Going to this event. At the event, it's an open bar. Sugar daddy is throwing them back, getting a little tipsy. Weddington is like, I'm here for a purpose. I really ain't got this kind of time. I don't want to be here. Approaches sugar daddy, says, hey, I think I'm about to leave. Like, why are you going to leave? I got all this on my mind. I really need to get this money. Fine. He ends up giving her a check. Whole other side story to that. We're not going to go down that. Gets the check, a little bit of drama there, but ends up getting the money. So she gets the money. She gives her $200 to the family, does what she wants with her $300 because that's her business.
If you guys wanted to know, me and homegirl got a hotel room downtown and went to dinner.
There go to $300. Were y'all wearing matching clothes when you did this? No. Okay. So he gets bailed out. Sorry, y'all, distract. Marcus gets bailed out. It's late when he's working. She wasn't there when it happened. She said, I'll see you tomorrow. So she gets up early in the morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning, and she's calling him. No answer. Calling, no answer. Here we go again. She talks to her friend. Friend says, I think you should just pull up. Weddington smokes, takes a couple shots to calm her nerves. She heads over. She walks into the trap house, right? What were the things that were in the trap house, y'all? There were only really like 5 things. What are the things that were in the trap house, y'all? What were some of the things? The washer dryer, what else? There was a TV and a stove, So she walks in and she walks past the washer dryer and she sees the washer dryer. There's clothes there. There's clothes. Why are there clothes here? There's clothes in the washer dryer. So she goes in and she starts going off on Marcus because he hasn't been answering. He just got out. What's this? And all of a sudden she looks up and she sees Turtle, y'all. Turtle is at the top of the stairs. So y'all picture, you come into the entrance, there's a staircase right here. There's probably like the whatever, the living room thing is right here. Turtle is peeking her head from the top of the stairs. What is this? What's going on here? Oh, she's just here. She's just washing her clothes for her son. Well, why does she need to wash her clothes? She has a whole house next door. She could do. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, Turtle gets tough. I don't know if you've ever heard of a tough turtle or seen a tough turtle, but apparently one appeared in this moment. Weddy is at the bottom of the stairs. Marcus is in front of her. Turtle is at the top of the stairs. So she has no way to get to her. But now Turtle just starts saying, I've been sleeping with your man since I got here. Since before the jail, while I went to the mall, all of these times we've been sleeping together. Marcus is now pushing Weddy back. Weddy is, of course, trying to get to her. He's pushing her out, Remember the front door right there, pushes her outside, closes the door. So Weddy is outside at this point. Weddy is heated. Weddy needs some kind of revenge, some kind of just to make her feel better about whatever, but she wants to fight. So she calls homegirl. Calls up homegirl, tells her the situation. Homegirl says, relax. I'm dropping my daughter off. I will be there. Just don't do anything. Gets off the phone, probably takes a deep breath, probably cracks her knuckles like she typically does. And then Weddy proceeds, y'all, to kick the door down. She kicks the door down. She darts up the stairs because the stairs are right there. Turtle proceeds to see this happening, runs and locks herself in a room. The men that were there, Marcus, Stankfeet, and the friend, could not get there fast enough, but run upstairs and are now in between Weddy, the door, and the turtle. While the turtle is in the room, the turtle is still talking tough, y'all. Still talking tough. So if you're heated, Weddy is there trying to get through these grown men, talking tough. She won't come out. Weddy says, I want to fight. Guys are not letting it happen. So Weddy needs some kind of revenge. So she says, you know what? If you're not going to come out and fight me, I'm going to make you want to fight me. Weddy runs downstairs, grabs the baby coat that is there by the stairs of the washer dryer, grabs the baby coat, walks to the kitchen, and proceeds to put the baby coat on the open flame in the kitchen. Fire ensues. All right?
Yeah.
Leaves it there, walks out. Y'all can visualize Angela Bassett waiting to exhale, walking away. I don't think the fire was that intense, y'all, but you get what I'm trying to say, okay? She lit it and she walked out and she felt better about it. So she leaves and now she's outside. She goes to her car. She feels better now, right? Because you know what? I wanted to fight. You didn't want to do that. I've now ruined something and I'm just going to sit in my car. So she sits in her car and now Turtle is upset. Turtle comes running out to the car. Weddy's window was down. Turtle tries to punch Weddy while the window is down. Weddy now rolls her window up and is just sitting there. She wants to fight, but Weddy says, I'm good now. You didn't want to fight before. Well, at this point, Homegirl pulls up. Homegirl pulls up, sees the situation, sees Weddy in the car, says, Weddy, what do you want to do? Weddy says, I'm done. I don't want to fight. But Turtle says, I still want to fight. Now, Weddington has a homegirl that is the epitome of ride or die in this situation because Turtle said, I want to fight. Weddy said, I don't want to fight. Homegirl said, I got you, sis, and punched her, and they proceeded to fight. Turtle got herself beat up, and they end up taking off. Weddy leaves her car, they take off in Homegirl's car. Week and a half passes. During this week and a half, Marcus is trying to call, not getting an answer. At some point, Turtle gets Weddy's phone number and starts harassing and calling her and divulging information and saying things that only Marcus would know, and she would only know if Marcus was pillow talking. So we have now set Weddy off again. So after this week and a half of being harassed, you've heard this before, Weddington needs to get hers. So Weddington and her cousins arrange a get-together, and they all head over to the area, y'all. And when I tell you, Weddington says between her and her cousins, they busted out the windows of Stank Feet and Turtle's home, the trap house, and Marcus's family house that was next to it. Weddy was outside in the yard doing whatever, and Marcus caught her and came out and tried to confront her. Her cousin stepped in. Marcus and the cousin got into an altercation, which resulted in Marcus getting beat up. While this was happening, Weddy took it upon herself the opportunity to walk over and flatten the tires of the cars that were there in the driveway. When this is done, they leave. The next morning, Marcus is calling to try to work things out. I don't know what was going on in this man's head, but he just felt after getting all his things ruined and whatnot that we could maybe still work this out. He calls Weddy back, tries to get in her good graces by bringing her medicine and food. Y'all know she loves her food and her medicine. Doesn't work. They finally break up. They obviously are broken up at this point. 6 months later, they're at a baby shower together. Weddy then also finds out that Turtle is 4 months pregnant. There's more to this, y'all, but we don't have that kind of time to dive into all this extra stuff. Did I get everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have questions? If you have any questions, now is the time. Hit the box. If you want to ask Weddington anything, she's here to answer them. Or if you'd like to plug anything at this point. It's a lot to take in, Go Brewers. I know. It was a lot. No. Oh, yes. We're not featured anymore. So y'all can cuss if you need to cuss. Anybody have any questions? Nobody's hitting about, did you get your $200 back?
No, because remember, it wasn't a necessity at that point because it wasn't my $200. It was Rich's $200.
Okay. How long ago? This was back in 2017, so about 5 years ago?
Yeah.
About 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
All right. If y'all haven't already, y'all make sure y'all hit Weddington with the fave right now. Weddington has story time. With Weddington, I will be on story time. So we're going to effectively trade places. So you can head over there in 9 minutes. Can I ask if children were present? Were children present during this? I don't believe so. I don't know. No answer. Any other questions? Y'all, later tonight, you have Weddington show at 9:30. You have a Hoop Search for the Stars at 10 o'clock, which is the next featured show. If you haven't already, guys, please make sure you hit the star by my name. Hit me with the fave. Please also make sure, y'all, we are 10K from 0.8 and a name change. Anybody want to change this name before I get off? You have the 10K. You can make my name whatever it is that you want. Oh, toxic teasing there. Of course, he has a question.
You could make her name. Yuli.
What's good, Jenny?
What's going on?
So